Alright, so doing a pump site change today and a new sensor. I am on the 780G system and I use the Instinct sensor. This is the box it comes in, MiniMed. I really like the MiniMed products. I did some traveling recently and I know that these aren't supposed to go through the x-ray machine. But I did put them in my carry-on bag. I have a separate bag that I use for traveling with all my meds in it, and they didn't check it manually. They just let it go through the x-ray machine. So that's always fun. But so yeah, we'll see if this one works today, because this is one of the ones that I traveled with. Hopefully it works, but I'm going to try two things here. So one, trying out to see if this works after traveling, and two, I'm going to try a new thing called pre-soaking, I guess it's called, where I still have my current Instinct sensor on. It has about 4 hours left before it expires today. So I'm going to install my new one, and then usually it takes about an hour for the warm-up period. So if I just leave the new one on to let it pre-soak, and then when this one expires, I'll just take this one off and activate the new one, and hopefully I won't have to have a warm-up period. I know other CGMs you can do this with, but I haven't heard anybody trying to do it with the Instinct sensor, so why not, right? What we're going to do is open this up. Always get your alcohol wipes. And I am going to pick my spot right about there. Get the alcohol wipe down. Alright, alcohol wipe down. Let that dry. I also use skin tack wipes. So this is after the alcohol prep pad. I wipe it with the skin tack, and it essentially just makes my skin stickier. And since this is on for 14 days, I want it to be as sticky as possible so that it stays on. And I will also do some over tape, even though they say you don't have to do it. I am very active, so I enjoy having over tape, which I use Skin Grip. I used to have the Guardian sensor, and that's what these are for, so they're a little bit big for the Instinct, but who cares? I have them, I'm going to use them. So this is the Instinct sensor out of the box. We're going to twist it. So that's the inside. Sensor is ready. I am going to find my spot. Let's see. Right about there. And we'll push it on. Wait a couple seconds. And pull it off. There we go. It's now on my arm. I like to push it down just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm not going to over tape it now because this is a pre-soak. So I will be back in 1 hour and we'll see if it works.
One eternity later.
Alright, we are back roughly 1 hour later after installing my new Instinct sensor to soak. Oh, I gotta wash my hands first. Hold on. Alright, hands are washed.
Don't touch me, I'm sterile!
First thing I need to do for my pump site is I am going to take off my old site. So I will do that. Undo my pump. This is my 780G from MiniMed. Taking off the old site. Just like ripping off a band-aid. Just gotta do it quick. Ugh. Alright, old site is off. Oh, it feels so free to take it off. It feels so free. Then we're going to put a new one right back on. But before we do that, I've been trying out these new Site Hero patches. They're supposed to help heal your pump sites after you take them off. So we're going to clean the old pump site wiped. While it's drying, I'm going to grab myself a Site Hero. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but these are just little tiny circles that you just peel off. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. A little tiny circle. You just put it directly over your pump site. Its own. And so now I just leave that on for about 2-3 days. It stays on pretty good. I could like take a shower and stuff and it's not gonna come off. I've forgotten that I had one on and rubbed it pretty good with a towel to like dry myself off and it still didn't come off. So pretty impressive and seems like it's healing my pump sites pretty well. I am going to be installing my new infusion set. I use the extended infusion sets from Medtronic MiniMed. So these ones last 7 days. So I only have to do one pump change in between new Instinct sensors, because the Instinct sensors every 14 days. So then you also use the extended reservoirs as well with the extended infusion site. So we'll open our reservoir. I've got my Lispro. This is the insulin I use. And we're going to draw up pretty close to about the 300 mLs. I usually do about like 280. Usually it'll last me maybe like 4 or 5 days usually. I usually have to fill this back up one time before I do a site change on that 7-day mark. So draw it up. We'll get it up to about that 280. Flick it to get all the bubbles out. Squeeze the bubbles out. Right. Reservoir has been filled. Take the old reservoir out of my pump. Go into my settings. New reservoir and set. And rewind. So old set just goes right in the trash. And while that's rewinding, we'll take the other trash and get that all together. And I'll put my insulin back in the fridge. Alright, insulin's back in the fridge. We're still rewinding. So I'm going to take out my extended infusion set. This is the tubing that connects to the reservoir, and this is the inserter. Take off the wrapping, take off the protective tip, and now we have our tubing. Tubing goes directly onto the reservoir. Push it on, and then give it a little twist to lock it in place. Pump is now done rewinding. So we will insert the reservoir into the pump, lock it into place, we will push next, and we will prime the pump. Alright, so now we have primed the pump, and we're ready to fill the cannula, but I need to insert my new site. I am going to be putting it on my left quad. Let's find a good spot today. I think right about there would be good. So again, alcohol wipe. Do some swipes. That dries. Get my skin tack out again, my trusty skin tack. Since this is on for 7 days, I want it to stay on. I used to do the 3-day replacement ones on my old 670, and man, that was kind of annoying having to do it every 3 days. And so to insert this, I take off this little protective paper on there. I pull out the stopper. And generally what I do, since my thighs are kind of, don't have a lot of pinchable skin, I try to pinch as much as I can, find a good pinch spot at least. I'll pinch it up maybe like an inch or so. I'll put the inserter on. Then I'll push the button. That way it goes into the fat in my leg and not into the muscle. Give it a couple seconds. Pop it off. That felt pretty good. There was no pain on that one. So then insert my pump and we fill the cannula. And then once that's done, I will put a overpatch. These are just some little circle ones that I found on Amazon. The circle is like perfect size to go over this. So that's what I like to put on there. Alright, cannula's full. Take that off. Get my over tape on. Grab the pump. And we will hook it to my waistband. And we get it. I gotta get the tubing. I like to have it a certain way. So I gotta kind of like train it to go the way that I want it to go. And then in like a day or so it'll kind of do its thing and be where it needs to be. Alright, pump's changed. So now I need my phone. And so what we're going to do is we now need to activate my new sensor and hope it works. Let's get this old one off. Whew. Garbage. Alright, and then in my app, go into the settings, we will go start sensor, yes, Instinct. Okay, new sensor has been applied. Then we go into the app and I have to scan it. So I have to click scan new sensor. Hold the back of my phone up to my sensor. Felt it vibrate. That means it connected. Okay, there we go. I got it to start now. Sensor starting. And we'll see once this is done if it still has to do the warm-up. Alright, we are back, and my test yielded some results that do not work, I guess. So I guess you can't soak, pre-soak, whatever you want to call it, a Instinct sensor. Because I just put this one on, and I guess maybe it's because of like you have to activate it in the app. Maybe, I don't know. But I let it soak for, it was probably like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And I still have sensor warm up 58 minutes. So can't pre-soak it, but it didn't affect anything. The traveling issue that I was thinking of, it still works. Looks like it's warming up. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you can't pre-soak Instinct sensors, which is kind of a bummer, but oh well. 1 hour is 1 hour. What's 1 hour, right?